Hello and welcome to Not All Fire. I'm Jude Evans.
And I'm Joe Hart.
And welcome back. Welcome back from holiday, Joe. Welcome back me from holiday, and welcome back to our listeners and viewers from our 2-week break.
I know, right? Feel a bit out of practice. I've forgotten how this thing works. But yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, we did. You've not recorded for 4 weeks now.
I know. I need retraining. I forget what we
do. Slacking. We decided in the end that we'd just take a couple of extra weeks because we've both been really, really busy, and I had some more time off, and I'm having more time off the end of this week as well. But that's because we're going concert gigging, so that's always quite fun. So yes, I went away to Scotland to Dumfries and Galway in the motorhome with Sarah and the dog, and you went to. Did you go to Menorca in the end?
I went to Menorca. I had a week in Menorca, which was very, very good. And then I came back and was crazy busy at work, as I always am. But yeah, I got a full week away. It was very nice. I was swimming and walking and doing all sorts of lovely things out in the lovely sunshine. So yeah, had a great old time.
Oh, that sounds nice. So we're not going to do too much of a catch up of what's happened in the last month regarding the news, because as ever we've got lots and lots of stuff that's happening at the moment. So we can talk about that massive fire at the fireworks factory in China, in Hunan, which has killed 26 people at the moment. This was 7 o'clock this morning. 26 people, 61 wounded. The Huasheng fireworks plant in Luiyang. It's quite an impressive explosion. 1,500 emergency responders attended.
Wow.
They evacuated everyone within a 3-kilometer radius of the plant.
Wow.
2 miles. So 2 gunpowder warehouses within the factory area had posed a high risk because at that point they weren't on fire. The impact of the blast was so destructive that windows of a nearby residential building were shattered. There was a lot of people hit by flying debris. They reckon there's going to be a huge environmental impact, although in the area further away the environmental indicators were normal. It's just around by the site it's quite bad. So a kilometre away, stones and debris were hitting the road, glass in the windows shattered, aluminium window frames were bent, and even the stainless steel doors were twisted out of shape. So yes.
And I think I read the same article, because that's actually a comment from a nearby resident, isn't it? That's in residential area. That's not from the factory.
A kilometre
itself.
Away. Yeah.
Kilometre away. Bloody hell. Yeah.
Yep. The last, in case you're wondering how often fireworks factories explode in China, the last deadly explosion was in February, where 12 people were killed at a fireworks store.
Wow.
So it's quite cool.
Yeah, no, I read that one this morning, and there was a thing in there that caught my eye about I can't remember it exactly, annoyingly, but it was about the first responders saying that they weren't able to enter the premises because they weren't sure about the subsequent fires, about whether they would trigger secondary ignition and secondary explosions. So there's the primary explosion, but that doesn't remove all the potential fuel load and all the potential explosive atmosphere. But there are subsequent fires, which you expect from an explosion of that size. And then the fear that can cause additional explosions, additional fires. So yeah, it was a difficult firefighting operation, as I'm sure anything with 1,500 first responders is difficult anyway. But yeah, huge risk, that one.
Just 1,500 people. There were dogs, drones, and robots as well.
Yeah. You do hear a lot of these in China. A lot of these fires in factories and warehouses generally. Of course, they have a higher proportion of factories and warehouses, so you'd expect a higher instance of it. But nonetheless, we quite often get these big case studies, big fatalities, big injury from areas in China. Yeah, so it's a really unfortunate one. I think when I read it this morning, it was 21 fatalities. You say it's up to 26 now.
26 now. Yeah, 61 injured. I mean, that's not too bad, considering that if you've got warehouses of gunpowder.
Well, the proportion split between proportion split between confirmed fatalities and injuries. It sometimes when you have an incident so major, the fact that there are injuries and not all fatalities is itself quite notable, isn't it? Which in this case, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
2 factories filled with gunpowder, as I understand, were involved in the explosion, which is, I mean, it's nothing short of major. It can be nothing but a major incident, can it? It really is. So yeah,
Yeah.
terrible, terrible
Yeah,
case
it's
to
quite
live
big. So that's basically what's happening in the news. I mean, there've been some small fires around the country. We seem to be having wildfires in the UK already.
with.
Wales has been having some wildfires. We've had some up here in Yorkshire, I think. There've been a couple in Scotland. So
Yeah.
already, even though we've obviously just had 2 days of torrential rain because it's been a bank holiday, it's wildfires are kicking off here as well. Have there been any around? Have we got any in California at all, or is that still calm?
Massive, massive wildfire at the moment in Arizona going off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 20,000 square meters, I think it was. I was last checked. I can't remember if that's the right units. It might be
Oh,
kilometers, to be honest. It was huge. But yeah, massive wildfire in Arizona. I was just reading
oh.
about last night. Speaking of close to home, though, I'll tell you what we had our first one of local to here. And I know we report on every year on this show. Our first farm fire in the middle of the field. The bale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it came up on the news must have been before the bank holiday because, as you say, it tipped it down all weekend, didn't it? But yeah, first one of those that went up and spread to a number of bales that were in
Oh
transit.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had too many of those recently around here. It's all oilseed rape this year around here, so lots of yellow fields. You get
Hmm.
yellow fields of oilseed rape, and then you get the blue fields of linseed. So it's
Sure.
quite pretty, but
It is. Yeah, yeah,
you'd have
yeah.
your hay fever would have been kicking off Saturday. It was a nightmare. Even I was starting to get it was so heady because it was still vaguely sunny on Saturday. So
Yeah, it was all
um,
right, mate.
hay fever season is bad.
I know, right.
Um, so what else we had in the news? So in the news, we also have had the building safety regulator at the end of last week revealed, um, released is probably the better, their strategic plan for 26 to 27.
Hmm.
And obviously a lot of the stuff at the start is just telling us what they've already done and how it's going so far. But they've got 5 key priorities for the next year. These priorities are not what we will do, are not all we will do over this time, but set out where our focus is as we improve, innovate, and build a foundation for a new single construction regulator.
Hmm.
Um, so what does N? I've just found this thing, and I've got halfway down the answer, and it's really annoying me because I don't like acronyms because I can never remember what they stand for. N. Come on, Joe. What's this acronym stand for? NDPB.
I
What do we
don't
think it
know.
stands for?
I've got no idea.
Right, let me scan through the article. I've got it's a standalone non-departmental public body.
Oh, and that's what they are classified as now, isn't it?
Yes, so they're sponsored by the MLCHG,
Yeah.
and they are a non-departmental public body. Does that? I don't know what that means though. What do you think that means?
I don't really know. Because they were part of the Home Office or they were part of the MHCLG or
They were
whatever
part
it
of the
is.
HSE.
Oh, the HSE.
They were part of the Home Office, and they were part of the HSE, and
Yeah,
they've moved back into the civil service.
yeah.
So, but there is, I don't know. I don't know what. I'm not a. We need somebody with legal expertise, Joe. Who do we know who has legal expertise?
I don't know. I tell you, I have a book though on my bookshelf because I'm in my study at home at the moment. And I can see it here. It's by Ian Dunt, and it's called "How Westminster Works: and Why It Doesn't." And in that book, it talks a lot about where organisations sit within central government and local government, and how there's just so many names for things, and things change all the time, so they become whatever this one might be now. And it largely is just like who reports into who, and is it part of the Department of Work and Pensions or this or that. So I'm learning a lot because that's actually quite a very good book.
I see.
About how just
Cool.
like the structure of government and they call things names and it's all just public sector. So I've got no idea what that means. I don't think it really impacts my work, but I'm learning a bit about how
I don't think
it might not be that consequential.
Yeah. So, well, priority one for the new building safety regulator, priority one, they're going to continue to improve their operations and processes. Becoming an NDPB means that we can develop our ways of working to better serve residents and industry, enabling the delivery of safe homes. They're talking about improving process by experts to form MDTs. That's multidisciplinary teams. I know that one. Creating a new account manager role to support better engagement between applicants and the multidisciplinary teams. I might call it MDT just because I can't pronounce it. Creating a new innovation unit to review applications, a pilot program of sending batches of applications to MDTs under supervision to improve efficiency. Introducing staged Gateway 2 applications for all buildings. So they're talking by the end of March 27, so that's in 10 months. They expect they will take 18 weeks or less to respond to a Gateway 2 application for a new building in non-complex cases. It doesn't say about existing buildings though, which is obviously where most of us do our work. They're exploring automation. They're exploring new software, how they can share data, how they can communicate better, new self-certification. So that's what they're looking for new buildings. Priority two is remediation. BSR remediation is focused on giving the building control approval for the removal of dangerous cladding. Remediation is essential to protect lives, build confidence in long-term safety, and restore the value of affected properties. Any building with unsafe cladding is one too many, and we're committed to enabling the process of removing it. I wonder if they actually have worked out how many buildings have got dangerous cladding on at the moment, though.
If I was asked to work that out, I'd really struggle without data, which involves assessing every building. So I dare say they probably haven't, other than a best guess estimate, which they must have done. You know, they must have worked out. In order to give any sort of deadline or target, they must have had a guess.
So this is, but that's, so the remediation appears to only be about cladding. And what they've said is that by the end of March 2027, we will take 12 weeks or less to respond to an application for remediation in non-complex cases. In addition, by working with others, improving guidance and supporting applicants, we expect applications to have an approval rating of 65%. So remediation support means to residents that residents will find that building control approval will no longer be a blocker to fixing their homes. Priority 3, building phase and Gateway 3. During the building phase, building safety regulator inspects to check the standards are being met. Plans change and the structure means the building may be different. This is why once a building is completed, it must then pass Gateway 3 before the building is occupied. This check is vital to ensure that the building is safe as it is designed to be. It looks like the building safety regulator are intending to increase the number of in-build site inspections. The inspections will be done by registered building inspectors, of which there is a national shortage. So they're trying to work out how to attract and retain talent into this exciting and interesting career. They're looking at reviewing their ways of working with responsible people, with perhaps considering how new technology or new ways of working can save time and how they can monitor the site visits to ensure they are proportionate. They're obviously now looking at Gateway and Gateway 2s. And having learned the lessons from Gateway 2, they're working to ensure they've got the experts internally to review completed buildings, to provide updates to help building owners plan and keep future residents informed, and publish comprehensive guidance on making an application. Priority 4, keeping the safety of people and the standard of buildings under review. That's about technical standards and guidance, making sure that the information they have and provide is correct. They're going to collaborate with MLCSG, local authorities, rescue services, and industry. Agree with government the best way to respond to significant risks and who's going to be responsible to them, and investing in software to monitor risks. Oh, it's a good time to be in software by the look of it so far. Every priority has mentioned the word software.
Okay,
So,
noted.
Don't start anything new yet. Finish what you're doing first. direct reports to Joe, that one. They're looking at how we're going to identify and deal with future risks. They're going to gather intelligence from the voluntary and mandatory occurrence reports, alongside reports and research that others are doing. They're going to try and provide proportionate guidance and recommendations, keeping everybody informed, helping developers, constructors, and building owners to make good choices. One way we'll support industry will be to use the information we gather to update approved documents. We plan to review these documents, updating them to keep up with regulatory changes, innovations, or new information. We know that because they're updating ADB all the time. It does turn around and say at the very bottom, clearer, more up-to-date approved documents will support the industry in meeting better outcomes for buildings. I mean, that's what we've all been asking for. Mm-hmm. And then priority 5, improving professional standards across industry. So buildings of a high quality must be supported by high professional standards and a thriving industry. To ensure this, we will continue to build on our work to professionalise and uphold standards, such as the introduction of the RBI register in 2024. Registered building inspectors, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're looking to improve guidance for industry and reduce unnecessary burdens. They will review the conditions of authorisations for competent person schemes, trying to reduce bureaucracy and fragmentation in the current system. Review and improve our existing guidance and materials that help organisations improve the skills, knowledge, experience, behaviours, and competence of those who work on buildings. Gone a long way from just being skills, knowledge, and experience now, isn't it? Improve industry standards and inspectors' standards that they work for, building inspectors, exploring how we can help grow the profession, and try to drive cultural change in the built environment, or continue to drive cultural change in the built environment. They want to publish a framework that shows how cultural change can be driven within organisations, and engage with those who procure on behalf of the public sector to raise their standards, to encourage those who design, build and operate buildings to comply with or go above and beyond the law. So in 2027, they're going to publish a 3-year strategic plan, because they'll have settled in for a bit. Mm-hmm. And they're going to look at increasing their own knowledge, skills and capability, develop KPIs, prepare to support the establishment of a single construction regulator, support the government to build 1.5 million high quality and safe new homes, be the catalyst for cultural change, where we all value safety and high standards, and then strengthen their partnerships across government, local authorities, industry and residents. That's their strategy for the next year.
Okay. What's the title of the document? Do they just call it our strategy, or what's the name of the document?
Building Safety Regulator Strategic Plan 26 to 27.
Yeah.
It sets out the ambition for the year ahead.
Yeah, you can probably get away with those priorities if that's the title of the document, because the thing that jumps out to me is I spend a lot of time reviewing and writing business plans, like presenting cases and having people present to me, and mentoring in that field. And very often the biggest thing you push back on is there's not a lot of measurable in there. If someone presents a business plan, it's okay, if I invest X and you present this, and where do we get to? And that document you just read out there's not a lot of measurable. It's, we will continue to do this, we will support this, we will do that. Give me okay, how are you going to achieve that? But if it is just a strategic plan, it means they don't have to provide that, but it also means there's not a lot to review. All of that is very commendable, and we agree, 100%. But like, at what point and how do we achieve those goals? So the first one in there, what was the first one it said about continuing to support?
Hang on. Let me scroll back down. Priority 1, continuing to improve our operations and processes.
Continuing to improve our processes. Yes, okay, very, very good. We should all be doing that anyway. That you don't even need to assign
Absolutely.
that.
I do that in my
There's a-
business. I'm sure you do that in your business. We all do that every day.
yeah, and I'm not being overly cynical here, but yes, that is a good priority. I agree they need better processes. So, at what point are you going to do it? What processes need developing? I may be being a little critical there because this is as though it's being presented to me. I'm a
You're
receiver
critiquing
of
it.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're all subject to this. So yeah, great. Okay, you need to get some better processes. If I was in those meetings, I'd be saying, what process do we need to improve?
Yeah.
Documentation review for Gateway 2. Perfect. Who are the stakeholders? How do we do it? So yeah, I agree with that. And to be fair, I
Yeah.
agree with all their strategic priorities there. As a receiver of service from the BSR, I think they are all things that need to improve. There are others, I'd suggest, but yeah, all right. I'm not offended by any of those. I wouldn't say of any of those, oh no, you don't need to improve that. Yeah, you need to do them all. Yeah.
No.
So
I think you're right. I think it's very much like when somebody says, write me half a page and tell us your achievements. And you just go, I'm just going to pick out some headlines. I'm not necessarily going to tell you how I've done them or what I've done.
yeah, yeah. Or a business plan that says we will make profit. How much profit? Where's it coming
We're
from?
going to
What are your
sell
overheads?
things and we're going to buy things and we're going to make profit.
I know it's lots of words, and you sort of nibble it down, you get to the bottom of it, and you go, all right, well, how are you going to back that up? What's behind it? I think I review too many business plans
Yeah.
where
I mean, I suppose in their defense, they've only really been operating under the MLCHG for a very short period of time and they have to put something out.
yeah, that's why it's useful to understand a strategic goal.
Yeah.
A strategic goal is something that is inherently, here's what we're shooting towards. The next thing that they output, whether it's public, it may or may not be actually, but the next thing for them to determine is what objectives do we need to meet that goal? What we're going to actually aim to achieve.
I mean, hopefully as well, obviously in the next year, we'll see how well they're doing in the new format. And then when they produce their full report for their sort of 3-year plan from 27 to 30, that should hopefully have some more meat on the bones.
Yeah, agreed. The one thing I've said before, I've said it on this show, I think, but I say it quite often that I really hate this like statistics thing. Stop telling me acceptance rates of 65% and 18 weeks and stuff. Like, I hate that's not the metric. That's not the only metric you should be working towards. It should be
It doesn't
a
really
building's
mean
getting
anything, does it?
safer and all of that. Remediation statistics are useful because that's tangible. That's okay, there was this risk
Yeah.
and now there's that risk. But unfortunately, if you incentivize people to review things quicker, there is a correlation between how quick they're reviewed and the rejection rates. You can reject things very, very quickly. It doesn't necessarily improve and make them more efficient as they come through.
Well, that's what we talked about before, wasn't it? When they suddenly said, "Yeah, we're getting through everything much quicker," and it was, well, actually, because you've rejected loads more now.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. But also the rejections is a big one because as consultants, we come across this. Are things being rejected for the right reasons? So they say, oh, we reject 85% of cases at one point, and you go, yeah, but it's because the question's not very good. It's not because the quality of submissions. It's because it's not clear what you want to see.
No.
Give guidance to people who are submitting these. The one thing I really like in there, and I've actually seen it done already, is I thought it was case handler or caseworker. They called it something else in that document there, where you get an individual kind of client liaison.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll have to look through it again.
I think one of my clients called it a case handler, but they called it a something else in that document, which is really useful because if you've got a question as a client, you've put a submission and you need an update, you want to be able to phone your account manager. Account manager, yeah,
account manager.
Just occurred to me then.
And that does make sense because one point of contact. Because sometimes it's a bit like, I mean, to be fair, it's a bit like when we all started doing safety cases and everybody went, well, how do we do a safety case?
Yeah.
There's no guidance for doing safety cases. How do we do a safety case? But we're 3 years down the road on that process now.
Yeah.
And now we're all going, how do we do a Gateway 3 submission? How do we do a Gateway 2 submission? Yeah. So, but theoretically, we're also 3 years down the line of that as well. But
well, the thing with these we talk about very often is all the Gateway 2 backlogs were once Gateway 1 backlogs. We sit on what's backlogged at Gateway 2. They're all going to end up at 3.
That's why they've said that's why they said very clearly that from the lessons learned from Gateway 2 will not be repeated on Gateway 3. However, history repeats itself, as we well know. And like you say, the Gateway 1 problems became Gateway 2 problems and are probably likely going to become Gateway 3 problems. So
the thing with Gateway 3 that keeps me awake, right, on this is the thought of buildings being constructed, ready to occupy, sitting empty because we're waiting for an assessor to come and look at it. Imagine an 18-week delay and
Yeah.
you've built something and it's sat there and it's pristine, decorated, perfect, and then you've got to wait 18 weeks for someone to come and tell you that, and that property is vacant. Imagine how many zombie properties we'll have, as people sometimes call them, just sat there
Yeah.
lifeless, just sat there doing nothing. Really, a developer, when they build something, and I sympathize with this, I get it. You want people moving in before the paint even dries because you finish building
Oh,
it and
regularly.
you want to be in, right?
Yep. Most of the construction firms I work for, they build 3 and 4 story blocks of flats.
Yeah.
By the time I'm going out to do my final inspection and they're sort of putting doors on and finishing painting, people are moving in. I
Yeah,
very
yeah.
rarely now get to do a fire risk assessment post occupation, because by the time they've told me we've done CML, well, they've it's the certificate of mortgage lending thing, isn't it? By the time they've CML'd the building to make sure it's safe for them to occupy, the next day they've got people moving in, and I'm like,
Yeah,
we haven't done a fire risk assessment yet, guys. I haven't even snagged it. So
yeah.
it's such a different life for smaller buildings compared to bigger buildings.
Yeah. But that'll be the one at Gateway 3. If we're sat there waiting for an RBI to come out and inspect the building and sign it off, and the property's finished but vacant, that will be,
Yeah.
that'll be a huge burden. That'll be the next big one. But of course, we're just waiting for Gateway 2 to progress to Gateway 3.
Yeah.
Now, they won't all happen at once because they obviously all have different construction programs. Some will take a year to construct, some will take 4 or 5 years. But nevertheless, we know if it's had a Gateway 2, it will become a Gateway 3 statistic. We will be able
Has
to look
to.
back in 10
Yeah.
years and track every Gateway 2 application that was successful when it hit Gateway 3. So, yeah, statistically, it's quite an interesting world
Yeah.
to assess. I've got a data analyst in my team, data scientist, and we just do data. That's her entire job, and this is one that we're going to be looking at very heavily in the later on this year. Do a big piece of work on it, in fact, about gateway statistics. Yeah.
How interesting. Oh, you should have to tell us about that then. So obviously not just the gateways we've got kicking off. I'm just going to put my reminder for all those people who listen to me and Sharon going on about the fire risk assessor consultation, that you've got till the 18th of June to fill that out, and for the approved document B, you've got until the 1st of July to fill out the consultation. We can't all moan about it unless we do it. So absolutely, please fill your boots. I mean, I haven't finished my fire risk assessor one because, like I said in the chat with Sharon, towards the end it gets really complicated because I've been doing fire risk assessments for a very long time. How much retraining do I need to do?
Mm-hmm.
I can prove my competency and I can prove my training throughout the last 20 years, and every time I've been on a course. Where do we go? How do we do? I don't mind it, but sometimes I'm a bit like, how far does it go?
Yeah, agreed. The RPEL route, the recognition of prior learning and recognition of just experience and learning, RPEL, has to be built. But who's going to do it? Who do you submit that to? What organisation is there to collect that data and issue a certificate, a license to practice? Who's there to regulate that? That's the biggest problem and question right now.
Yeah, unless the government are going to create a gas safe register for all fire risk assessors, and we use the gas safe because
Sure, yeah,
that is the one way you prove yourself.
yeah.
At the moment, we've got so many organisations, whether it's BAFE, whether it's the IFE, whether it's the IFSM, whoever it is that is accrediting you. You can't just come up with a new. I refer a learned gentleman back to XKCD Carton, like always banging on about, which is the one about the standards, which I'll get Kirsty to pop up on the screen, which is, this is stupid, there are 18 standards. Why are there 18 standards? We need one standard that covers everything. 3 months later, there are 19 standards.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the uncertainty, isn't it? And unfortunately, there's uncertainty there for us as fire risk assessors. Where should I pay my money? How should I demonstrate my competency?
Yeah.
But then there's uncertainty for RPs saying, should I go to this register or that database or this website to find someone to do the work for me? There's uncertainty for training providers. I can tell you that from first-hand experience. So far, I fit in all three of these categories. I'm uncertain on it on all fronts. What training
Well,
should we be
yeah, because all the
developing, delivering,
all the
and
training we did, all the training we did with you last year for fire risk assessors is now basically they've turned around and gone, "Well, is it right?
yeah,
Is it that
which
level?"
yeah, which is
Frustrating.
I can tell you how frustrating it is as a training provider to have to phone all your clients and say, we're gonna have to redo your certificates, but that involves a load of work. Can you submit this, that, and other? You know, it's yeah, it's a tricky one for us all.
Oh, yes, the
Um,
team are very well aware of that.
yeah, my word.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's a good job I've
But
got my own office in my building sometimes. I don't sit with the rest of the team. I need to soundproof it, the amount I'm shouting down the phone at the minute to various bodies and organisations. Yeah, it's
yeah.
tricky, really hard.
It's challenging because if somebody turns around and says one thing and then you turn around and say another thing, you're like, well, that's if you just give me one truth, man.
Yeah, no,
Stop changing
exactly.
it. Stop changing the goalposts. So,
Yeah,
um, it's coming up to the 9th anniversary of Grenfell, mate.
it is June. Yeah, what we're in today? We're May now, which has surprised me in itself.
No.
But yes, no,
No.
9 years. 2017, wasn't it? Bloody hell! I
Do you
noticed
know what?
there was a piece of legislation that went through. I don't know if you've caught this about the fund for the memorial for Grenfell. Did you
Oh,
spy this
yes,
one?
I did see something.
Do you know, I sent it. I'm going to pull up an email just for myself to read because I sent it around my team.
Well, while you're finding it, unless you've instantly found it, I will just quickly say that it's still looking like early 2027 before they start the criminal case. So that's still 9 months away.
Yeah,
And the civil cases, they don't look like they'll be starting until October 2028 because currently they're trying to go through mediation between various different claimants. And that's people like Kensington and Chelsea and the construction firms and the manufacturers. So a
mm,
load of those kind of mediation cases, but it's only civil. But again, the criminal case, they're looking at early next year.
cool. Yeah, yeah. I have just found the email. That was a perfect little filler fact. Um, so I sent this out to my team. In my team, if we see something of interest, we email it around the whole team. So I sent this out on the 19th of April, Sunday. Sorry, everyone, a Sunday email.
I was on
Um,
holiday that day. Ha ha.
and it just happened. So this couple of weeks ago, this came out, but there has been a bill going through the processes of lawmaking called the Grenfell Tower Memorial Expenditure Bill, and that at the time of me sending this email to the guys, so a couple of weeks ago, had just received the third reading in the House of Lords. Now, what
Oh,
that
wow.
means is this bill started out in the House of Commons and it went through all the stages. So it started as a green paper, white paper, first reading, second reading, committee report, and then third reading. Every piece of legislation goes through both the House of Commons and the House of Lords. So depending on where it's first drafted, it changes, called passage of the Houses. So this has gone to the House of Lords for a third reading, which is the last stage. So essentially, that means it is now
Gonna be law.
going to the monarch to get royal assent, then it'll become a law. So what this will become, we anticipate it will get royal assent. It will become the Grenfell Tower Memorial Expenditure Act. And what that allows is the bill essentially grants the government powers to raise unlimited expenditure for four things. Firstly, to construct a memorial to commemorate the victims of the fire at Grenfell Tower. Secondly, to preserve, archive, and exhibit elements of the tower and material from within the tower.
Oh.
Thirdly, to fund the use, operation, maintenance, or improvement of the memorial. And fourthly, lastly, to acquire land for the purposes of the above or where elements of the tower may be buried. So what that will
Oh.
do is it'll grant the government the ability to construct a memorial, maintain the memorial, staff the memorial, do all the things that you might need to. And it doesn't define a budget. Essentially, unlimited funds can be allocated for
Oh,
acquisition of
wow.
land, construction of the monument, and then for upkeep, maintenance, and running of the monument as well. So yeah, that snuck
So
through. I didn't really know about that until it reached the House of Lords. So it's gone under the radar a little, but there have been very few drafts and redrafts to it since it was first drafted in the House of Commons. So that one will land soon, I'm certain.
is that quite common for memorials then? Do they
If
normally have acts and things like that?
if it's public money that's being spent on it, then yes, it is common. particularly for the upkeep and the running of it. So if you don't have a private sponsor who's guaranteed funding for X amount of time, if it's public money, the government will have to run a bill, and that becomes an act in order to use public funds to spend on it.
Well, there must be loads and loads of acts that cover monuments all over the place then.
Absolutely. If it is public funded and there is reliance on taxpayer money to fund it, then yes, yeah.
Oh, very
That,
interesting.
that's
So
why
even you
perhaps
did that.
it's
Yeah.
gone through. Now I, because of some of the work that I do, I kind of monitor what bills are going through the process. So I kind of keep half an eye out, and you can search for fire, you can search for Grenfell, you can search for whatever. And so I keep an eye on what's going through. And something like the Building Safety Act, we're all aware of. We all read the drafts, we all follow it very closely. This one, not so much. I didn't really see it until it went over to the Lords and started going through the process. But it's one for us all to be aware of. When that memorial is designed and constructed, we
nice
will
one.
know. Yeah, it is. It is, in fact. So yeah, that snuck in the news in the last couple of weeks that I thought I'd report on.
Nice. Let's finish on discussing shiny new toys that we have. Because obviously I spoke to you a few weeks ago about the LiDAR mapping tool that I have that I've been using to do 3D scans and imagery of various of my sites. And we, on the 100th episode, came to your office, showed you all the things, and you literally 3 minutes later bought one. As anybody who listens to this podcast will absolutely understand and appreciate that that's exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
You've been doing some bits and pieces. I've been doing a few bigger buildings now. Done some fairly complex manufacturing. What do we call it? I suppose it is manufacturing. A kind of plant, factory style plant type areas. We've been doing some scanning, as well as some sort of community halls with multiple small rooms and stuff like that. But you guys have been working out quite a bit as well, haven't you?
Yeah, well, kind of as we said earlier about business plans. I love toys. I love buying things and investing in tech, especially.
How is that BMW in your garage anyway?
I stubbed my toe on it the other day, so I'm angry at it. I don't know if I can call that tech. It's 27 years old, 26 years old now.
Oh, that's such a baby. That's still this century. Good grief. Get a proper one. Get a 50-year-old one.
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah. But no, I love buying tech, and especially in the business, we try to buy all this stuff. But what I do need, in truth, because I'm the chief exec, I have to make decisions based on business cases. So there has to be a reasonable use for it. I can't just drop however many pounds that one was, and it gathered dust. So I needed a business case, and what I can use it for, very tangibly, is producing floor plans, and that is so unbelievably helpful, because
isn't it? It's amazing.
If somebody says to me, "Can you come and look at my building? Tell me what I need to do. Can you bid on this piece of work?" The first question is, do you have floor plans? And invariably, the answer, a percentage of the time, 25%, maybe 30% of the time, is no. And at that point, usually, I have to stop the inquiry. I'm sorry, we can't help you. Get some plans, we can review them. But now I can say yes. Now I can say, well, if you need floor plans, let me come and do a clever little scan, and I send it off, and I get the plans. Or where I have clients that come to us who have out-of-date floor plans. Now we've had an extension, but it's not documented. Previously, I'd be scribbling away on a bit of a napkin and trying to draw it up myself in Bluebeam. But now you can scan it, take travel distance measurements, take building heights.
It's so cool.
So it is incredibly useful. And now I can commercialize it, which unfortunately is part of the business case. How am I going to make my money back, and am I going to make money from it? The answer is yes, I'm pleased to say. Because you can make floor plans, which is huge. It's crazy.
We've done quite a few. It's very much earned its keep. And fortunately, the guy who sold it is actually quite nice and has two very lovely puppies. And he was brilliant. He came to your office as well, didn't he? He came to show you.
He did actually. Yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I was in and out of it because I was busy. But yeah, I did get to have a play with it. And now we've got the kit. We've been all having a bit of a. We've scanned our office about 50 times. We keep making floor plans for our own office in case anything's changed. But yeah, we're all getting used to it now. It's very helpful. Useful.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to the point where I can do it fairly quickly, and actually it doesn't take very long to do it. And I finished one scan last week at like 5 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock the next morning I had a 3D walk through the building and plans, and it was like you can't beat that. It was it's good. So
really helpful for anything retrospective. So in an existing building, to be able to go, what I envisage for the business case for it will be go to a building, do a scan, output the floor plans, and from that be able to write a retrospective fire strategy document, a load of actions from that, significant findings, mark up compartmentation and passive fire drawings, fire doors, and everything. That's where we'll be able to actually bring huge value to clients we would currently be saying, I'm sorry, we can't help you. Now we suddenly can, which is so valuable. So it does when its keep, doesn't it?
We've done it on a building midway through construction as well. I forgot to tell you that before when we were chatting. Yeah, we've just done a building under construction. So
I equally think it could be valuable at Gateway 3, couldn't it?
Yeah.
When you get into construction and you're trying to do monitoring, what we call an implementation service, which is going at times throughout construction, documenting what's on site, things like the cavity barriers have been installed correctly. Here's a photograph. What about a 3D scan? You can walk through that. The way I envisage it is it's a bit like, when you go on Google Maps and you walk around, but you can change what year. You can look to see, oh, my house used to be a swamp, or this hospital used to be, or whatever. If you can do that at different stages in construction and see the development, I think that could be it could be a solution, dare I say, to Gateway 3. Not having to go and imagine constructing a building and someone turning up after 18 weeks and saying, you just take that panel off and show me the cavity barrier. And just bloody finish the thing. So that monitoring throughout construction is possibly a big solution.
Yes,
so
that's certainly something that I'm in conversation with. So that's nice. So I'm now off for a couple of days. I'm going to go to Liverpool and go and watch Paul Simon in concert. You're imminently about to drive to Milton Keynes, which is also very exciting.
Why
not
not?
as exciting, I think, as Liverpool.
8:15 at night. What else would I want to do than drive to Milton Keynes for a meeting tomorrow morning?
But
I am excited.
How nice is it that it's still light, mate? I mean, it won't be by the time you get to Milton Keynes, obviously, because it will be midnight. But
it literally will be. It's really lovely though. I'm happy because I've got as a new starter, so I'm inducting tomorrow for my risk assessment team. Today I've had a new senior fire engineer in my engineering team, which has been lovely. Got lots of new people join the team, which is always nice and refreshing. So I don't begrudge the drive at all.
No, I've got to welcome Carol. Carol started with us last Friday as my operations director, so she's absolutely going to boss me around, and you will be hearing from her.
Sure, sounds good.
So no, welcome to the team to her as well. So yeah, no, it's isn't it nice? Isn't it good? So, and then you do anything nice the weekend?
Well, do you know what I am doing next week? Which means I'm prepping for it. I'm teaching next week. I've got one of your team coming over to the course. I'm doing
two of my team coming over to the course.
2 of your team. There we go. I'm teaching a whole week course next week. Oh God, what's it called? I forget what it's even called now. Fire 4. Engineering for fire engineering design and fire science. So principles of fire engineering and then principles of fire science for fire engineering design. So I've got 5 days in the classroom. So I think what I'm going to be doing is
you're going to be really tired next Tuesday when you talk, aren't you?
Well, I'm going to have talked a lot that day, but I have quite a lot of activities that I do in that whenever I teach that course. So we use the lab equipment and all that. So I'll probably just be there running that over the weekend to make sure it's all slick. Nothing worse for me than I go for the lab and there's not samples cut and bits of wood that need shaping. So weekend's going to be prepping, I reckon.
Yeah. You've got Chris and Roger are doing that. Well, we come back from what am I doing this weekend? We come back from Liverpool on Saturday, and then I think I might just chill out, really.
Very nice. Too right. I'll tell you what I'm doing the week after. I have to do a plug. I promised I would. Is I'm teaching all the next week. This week I'm travelling a bit. Milton Keynes, London, back to the office, prep for the weekend. And then next week I'm teaching. Week after, I actually think I'm up in Aberdeen on the Monday, which is a bit of a faff. Then I'm going to get to drive all the way to Duxford to present at a conference on Tuesday morning.
Norwich.
Wildfires.
Yeah, Norfolk branch. Nice.
Norfolk and Suffolk. Got a conference on the 19th, and I'm presenting alongside a host of other speakers. So I said I'd do a little plug for the guys, and there it is. If I'm grumpy, it's because I've driven from Aberdeen the night before. But,
well, if you're plugging that, I absolutely have got to plug the Women Talking Fire Safety Conference, which the information has just recently dropped, which is on, I want to say, like the 18th or 19th of June, which is a Friday. It's in Winchester. I am hosting it as I have done previously, as the mad person up front. We've got Dame Judith Hackett. We've got Dr. Barbara Lane. Um, we've got a whole host of other amazing people and amazing speakers. So tickets have gone on sale. There is a meal and quiz the evening before. Sadly, I am doing the quiz again, so I promise to make the questions easier than I did last year, when nobody got anything more than about 50%. So tickets are on. Tickets are online. Go and have a look. It should be a good event. So quite a lot of
Lovely.
I'd say quite a lot of my team are attending. There's a couple of people who can't because they're on training courses, but most of the rest of us will be there. So
Lovely. Someone mentioned it to me the other day, that conference, funnily enough, just in passing.
yeah, it should be fun. Come to it, Joe.
Yeah, well, I'm not available. I think I know where I am. I don't
Are
think I've
you
told
in
you about this yet.
California?
I don't think I am. I think I'm in
Are you in the
Rome.
conference in France?
I think I'm actually in Rome. I sound very international at this stage, don't I? I sound very exotic.
Oh, I very nearly had to say something that probably had to be bleeped from the show then. But yes, Joe, you are an international traveller.
No, I am abroad though. Unfortunately, I actually think I'm in Italy that week, as it happens. But I'm
Oh,
unfortunately not able to make it. I'm working overseas, slumming it in Rome. I
shocking, shocking
wouldn't
behaviour.
dream of going normally, but I must on this occasion. But yeah, should be a good event. Sounds fun.
Yeah, it should be good. It should be good. So, well, lovely. You'll be quite pooped from running a course and speaking all day, and I obviously will be. I'm gonna be back in Essex, I think, as I am in my wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm on the wrong month. That's absolutely not today's calendar. Yes, I will be. I will be in the Essex.
Yeah,
So
I'll be able to report next week on some of my teaching. It'll be fire science next week, so I'll give a little bit of
you can
technical
report on
stuff.
your teaching, and I'll get some of the delegates to tell me exactly what went on and whether you talked about licking walls or whatever it is that you talked about.
My training courses are full of ad-libbed stories and anecdotes and all sorts of fun and games. So I'll report on that next week. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that'll be good. Oh, and I'll tell you what I'm doing the following week, which is really, really exciting. It's the Tall Building Conference again.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
back going to the Tall Building Conference again. So I can, when on the 26th, in at the end of the month, I'll be able to give you an overview of what happened at the Tall Buildings Conference for the 2 days there in London. So that should be good.
fantastic. Yeah, I look forward to that. It was a good one last year, wasn't it?
Oh, it's
So
brilliant. It was so good. So yeah, I'll give you well that'll be a big rundown show that week. So oh, well, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for watching. We're back again for however long until Joe decides he needs to have another holiday and we take a break again. So
I'll try to be here next week, but I can't promise there won't be another holiday. I'm due one.
shocking behaviour. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.
Thanks everyone. See you next Tuesday. Cheers, dude.